The missing children incident was an event occurring at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and is mentioned in the first, second, and third games. First theory, the children. Scott Cawthon, the creators, hinting of paranormal activity within the pizzeria, gave rise to speculation that the ghosts of the 5 children and the other victims might have possessed the animatronics, which caused their macabre and violent behavior. Another theory speculates that the missing children were stuffed into the 4 animatronics. This would explain the animatronics' foul odor, the leaking blood and mucus, and the parents comparing them to reanimated corpses. No one knows what happened to the 5th child, though it is believed that the 5th child may have been stuffed into Golden Freddy. This could explain why Golden Freddy has a little girl's laugh. However, it is possible that all the children were killed and disposed of in a more traditional way. In the Take the Cake of the Children Death minigame in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the murder of a single child is witnessed. This would indicate that the murderer has struck multiple times and that there are a total of 6 known children killed. This is confirmed in the Happiest Day minigame in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, where the 6 masked children gather around the cake before disappearing. The killer. The game doesn't confirm whether the man convicted, or if a man was convicted, for the incident was actually the murderer, or if the children were stuffed into the animatronics. Since the animatronics attempt to kill other people in a similar manner, some fans believe that the animatronics were the real murderers. Others believe that it was a homicidal employee, as they would have access to the costumes and the animatronics' AI controls, although the newspaper says nothing as to whether the killer was an employee. It is confirmed, however, that the killer was the purple guy from the Death minigames. Upon the completion of the 5th night of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, the player plays as the soul of a dead child, confronting the killer in a room with the 4 other dead children watching. Purple Guy attempts to hide inside Springtrap, but dies from misusing it. This also adds to the theory that the man who was supposedly convicted for the murders, as found in the newspaper clippings from the first game, was not actually the killer, as he is killed during the minigame. Night Guard. A variation of 2 certain theories speculates that the murderer may have been a previous Night Guard, which would explain why the animatronics are so determined to reach Mike Schmidt, and supposedly Phone Guy before him, as heard during Nightfall's phone call. Since the killings may have occurred after hours, this theory raises the possibility that the victims haunting the animatronics want revenge but can only remember for certain that they think the killer might have been the Night Guard. Player characters. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 hints that the previous day shift guard is the one who murdered the children. Phone Guy mentions on Night 5 of the second game that no one is allowed in or out, especially concerning any previous employees. This is also possible because Mike worked after both this incident and the bite of 87 took place, and due to the fact that Jeremy Fitzgerald is the only protagonist to not be fired from his job as a night guard. Another candidate could be Fritz Smith, the security guard on the custom night that is fired the following day after he tampers with the animatronics, just as Mike was. However, tampering with the animatronics could simply allude to the custom night's gameplay, where the player just adjusts the AI levels of the animatronics. Furthermore, the fact that Fritz worked after Jeremy possibly disproves this accusation. Phone Guy. Another theory proposed by the fanbase is that Phone Guy is one of the likely candidates of the missing children incident. This theory was suggested by Matt Pat of the famous theorizing YouTube gaming channel, The Game Theorists. The possible connections between the Purple Guy and the Golden Freddy to the Phone Guy are described. The Purple Guy might be a security guard, which Phone Guy was. The Purple Guy's glowing white eyes in the rare quote-unquote "you can't" ending of the Save Them death minigame are similar to the ones Golden Freddy has in Five Nights at Freddy's, and the player can see "you can't" on the bottom left corner of the death screen from the Purple Guy. The Phone Guy to Mike Schmidt in his final recording says that there was a suit in the back room which he would like Mike to check out for him, which may be the Springtrap suit that Purple Guy died in, located inside a soon-to-be-sealed back room. Five Nights at Freddy's 3 may support this theory with the end-of-level minigames, which show Purple Guy, possible Phone Guy, running to the back room from the original animatronics, which is an area they cannot reach, and dismantling them when they turn their back. The order of which begins with Freddy chasing him, which would match up with Freddy's song playing during Phone Guy's final message to Mike. Phone Guy also mentions that Foxy was his favourite, giving fans a reason to believe that he was responsible. As in the Foxy Death minigame, the Purple Guy is seen outside Pirate Cove. However, thanks to the third game, it is highly unlikely that this theory is the case. This is because it's hinted Purple Guy was killed after the events in the first game, while Phone Guy was killed during them. Other pieces of evidence suggesting against Phone Guy being the purple guy include: Phone Guy knew that getting into Springtrap would likely result in serious death or injury, but Purple Guy clearly did not give thought to any potential dangers of getting into Springtrap, and put it on, thinking it would be safe. However, just like Phone Guy explained during Night 3's phone call, the spring locks holding the compressed animatronics part came loose, and the mechanical parts all shifted back into place and crushed Purple Guy, killing him. Purple Guy also deliberately did what Phone Guy told employees not to do while in the suits, made sudden movements, suddenly standing up quickly, and breathing on the springs, laughing while inside the suit, providing further evidence that Phone Guy was not Purple Guy, as Phone Guy would have known not to perform these actions. Furthermore, Purple Guy dismantled and destroyed the animatronics before he was killed, meaning that if Purple Guy were Phone Guy, then the events and his death in the first game should never have happened. Other random theories. By Golden Freddy's appearance in the second game, with wires popping out of his eyes and shoulders, it would surely be impossible to get in the suit, although these wires could just be hanging out of the outside of the suit, being barely visible. This could, however, also mean that the wires and beams were removed, and the ones seen are just leftovers. Springtrap, however, is another possibility, and more likely candidate, given that he is yellowish in colour. Given that Golden Freddy has a similar appearance to Springtrap, as well as appearing in the minigames alongside Springtrap while performing for the children, many believe that Golden Freddy was a suit that could be worn like Springtrap's is. If this is the case, it is still very possible for Golden Freddy to be the suit used in the murders. However, Springtrap, referred to as Spring Bonnie suit, was not available for employees to use or guests to see, further indicating that Golden Freddy's was used instead. This is further supported by the fact that Phone Guy mentions that there were, in fact, two suits that could be worn, in which there were only two suits depicted as being the originals, Golden Freddy and Springtrap. There is another recently popular theory that suggests that Puppet was responsible for the animatronics being possessed. The death minigames in the second game seem to back up the idea, as in the Give Gifts, Give Life minigame, that the puppet is shown putting the heads of the original animatronics, Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, onto the corpses of children. A fifth child briefly appears before Golden Freddy pops out at the player. In the Happiest Day minigame in the third game, the 5 children appear wearing their character masks and are joined by the player-controlled child, who is revealed to be wearing the puppet mask, indicating that the puppet is another child's spirit.